And welcome to this demonstration of the new custom step I created called Translate Text. This custom step enables you to take any SAS table that has long character values that you would like to be translated, runs them through the DeepL API and returns the translated string. Let's look into it. Okay, here we are inside of SAS Studio. I have already opened up a new flow. And now we will pull in our text that we would like to be translated. It's just a simple example table that's also included in the example flow that I have included with this repository in the custom step. Let's take a quick look at the preview data. You can see I have two columns in this table, one called text language, and there you can see the ISO code of the language and then the text that needs translating. Let's now go over to the steps pane and search for translate text. Let's pull this step into our flow. Let's connect up our table with the custom step. And now let's take a look at what we need to enter to be able to translate text. First up, a quick note that this, of course, makes use of the DeepL API, which means your text will be sent via HTTPS, so secured and encrypted, over the internet to DeepL, and the returned value will also be sent the same way. When you are using the DeepL API, you will need to provide an authentication way, and that's in their use case a token which they provide when you create a profile. Let's quickly take a look at this. So you need to create an account with DeepL, then go to the account summary page, hover over to the account tab, and then scroll down to find the authentication key for DeepL API. Click the copy icon to copy that value. And I highly suggest that you don't directly enter this into this field, but rather store the value inside of SAS as a macro variable that you then enter the name of the macro variable in here. If you are using macro variables more often, then I would suggest storing them inside of your AutoExec file, which you can find in the options pane inside of SAS Studio. Then click on AutoExec file and enter the value there. I have pre-populated a variable that I call DeepL token. So I just entered the ampersand specifies that this is a SAS macro variable and then the name of the SAS macro variable. Then we have to select the subscription type. So I'm currently using the free API of DeepL, which has some limits to it in which use cases you can use them and how much you can actually translate. But if you are paying for DeepL, then always make sure you are using the DeepL API Pro plan in here so that you get more speed and also a higher quota of things you can translate. Next up, we have to select the source language that our text is in. So we will say here our text language column. And next we need to select the text that needs translating. Text to translate. Next up, we can give the column which will contain the translated text a new name. I will just leave it as tt_text. And then we select the language that we want our text to be translated into. So I'm going to switch this into English, and the documentation alongside this step explains how you can expand this list of languages to translate into. Finally, we will right-click the output port, add a table, and I will just store our output in work and call this translated. Let's run this flow. So we will pass our 4 rows to the DeepL API and get the translated text back. Let's open up that table. And we can see that it preserves all your input columns, so the text language and text to translate. And then we get a new column which contains all our translated text. And now we know I said hello world in 4 languages, and now we get English as well. I hope that this step is useful for you and helps you in your daily work. Bye bye.